Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Orlando, and I got a question from a viewer that asked, hey Orlando, are single family homes a better investment than multifamily properties? And the reason why they were asking this question is they are very interested in going the route of single family homes versus multifamily. And so I want to do a video to explain the risks of single family versus multifamily. Now, I'm just going to talk about the reasons why I don't get in single family and the reasons why. Now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't. I'm not saying you shouldn't. And I understand the appeal of getting into a single family homes and the reason why single family homes are easier to find. They really are. I mean, I'm not going to say the deals are easier, but it's definitely a lot more single family homes that you can find that you probably could find a deal on because there's so many more available because everybody's just, that's their primary residence. So you can find a deal with a single family home that makes sense and, and it just makes sense and you would buy it. But here are some of the reasons why, even if I see a good deal, a decent deal with a single family home, that I still opt not to take it and focus solely on duplexes and anything higher than that. That is my main focus, duplexes and anything higher than that. So 2 units and up, guys, is what I tend to focus on. And what are the reasons why I focus on that? So number 1 is occupancy, guys. Occupancy is really big with me only because occupancy controls everything. It controls how much money I'm going to bring in per month. And then that determines that money is going towards my mortgage that I have on the property, right? So let's say you buy a single family home and you buy that single family home and inevitably the person is going to move out of that unit, that house sometime, right? And let's say they move out and it takes you 2 months to find a new tenant. This is not something that's like a crazy story, guys. It is not a crazy story. This happens all the time. In a single family residence, the person moves out and it takes you 2 months to find someone. What are you gonna do for those 2 months that you still have to pay the mortgage? Because remember, the mortgage does not stop just because your tenants moved out. Well, the answer to that is you are going to have to cough that up. You are going to have to pay that. To me, it's not really a risk. It's a guarantee that it will happen. It's not like it might happen, it may not. I know that's gonna happen. And so that means that I either have to try to get someone in that unit ASAP because I do know that the mortgage is going to be coming due. But what if you run into a situation where the tenants that are being presented to you that are interested in the property, they're bad tenants? Are there tenants that you normally wouldn't put in the unit? Are you going to rush to get someone in there just because you need to pay the mortgage? That is a bad decision. That is a bad decision to do. So not to be put into that situation, you will see that multifamily beats out single family in that arena. And the reason why that is because if I have a duplex and one person moves out, I could still get my mortgage covered. If not all of it, at the very least, majority of it covered by one side, guys, by one side, allowing me to take my time to choose the right tenant to go into that other unit that was just vacated. As you can see, single family side, someone vacates, the occupancy, if it takes 2 months, the mortgage is on you, versus a duplex, a multifamily, one person moves out, you still are covered by one side. Now, someone will say, what if both sides move out? Well, you're in the same position as single family. But what are the chances that both tenants will move out of both units? The chances of that happening are lower than the chances are that someone's going to guarantee vacate a single family residence. So we have that. So then we have number 2, expenses, guys. So expenses, when you do a single family home, I mean, they're just more expensive because it's a one-off type of scenario for whoever comes out to that property. What do I mean by that? Let's just use an example of carpet cleaning, right? If I say to a carpet cleaning guy, hey, can you come to my house and do a carpet cleaning? He may charge me $300. Let's just say he charged me $300 to do that home. Well, if I say, hey man, I have a property and it has a duplex, 2 units, can you come out and do both units? He may say, yeah, I'll do that. I'll do $450 for both of those units. So for me, the expenses are lower, even though I'm paying more. Overall, the expenses are lower because you have 2 units, give the work to someone versus 1 unit. That's the way it has always worked for me. Every time that I've had someone tell me what they'll charge for 1 unit versus 15, 16, 20, 24 units, it's always diluted down than giving me the same price over and over for every unit. It's always diluted. Trust me, it's going to be cheaper for someone to do whatever job they're doing if they're going to do it at scale versus if they're going to do a one-off. That is just the way it is. And so you come off better. You're making more money with the units and the expenses are cheaper versus if you were just to do a single family where money is coming in, but you're going to get charged that premium because it's that one-off scenario when it comes to expenses. Now, that's my experience. I'm not saying that that will be everyone's experience, but I'm talking from all of my properties. That is what I've come across, and it just scales so much easier, and it's a lot cheaper to have someone come out and look at multiple units versus them coming out looking at 1. You know what I mean? So that is another big reason why I choose multifamily over single family. Now, here's the thing also too with that. You are once again bringing in more money. So even though someone would say to me, Orlando, $450 for 2 units and $300 for another one, that's still a difference. $300 is $300. $450 is $450. But I would also like to include, I am getting more income on the other side too. It's not like I'm saying you're going to be making the same amount of income from the single family and also getting charged more when it comes to the expenses. You're making more money, but your expenses are lower. Okay, so now we're going to talk about number 3, which is risk. Risk for me, when it comes to multifamily versus single family, it's fairly easy. We just talked about it. It does fall into the occupancy play. It does fall into the amount of money and mortgage. It also plays with the expenses. Now, if you hear all of that, that all plays into risk. Even though single families, it's still fairly easy to get financing for it. It is even easier when you do multifamily, and that is because the income of the property 2 times higher, maybe sometimes even more than a single family. So the bank or the lender is able to see that it is a lot easier for you to pay them their money, which is the mortgage, right? Mortgage is a lot easier to pay. So what does that mean for you? That means that the financing is a lot easier, paying the mortgage is a lot easier, right? All of those things for you will be easier. Now, let's just talk about I just talked about all of these cons, kind of just saying like, hey, you need to do multifamily. But here are some of the things that are good with a single family home. You're going to pay lower taxes because it's a single family home. It's not 2 dwellings, it's 1 dwelling. And then also too, you tend to find individuals that normally lease houses. They take care of the properties better because they treat it as if it's their own home. Now, you can kind of get this same feeling if you have a duplex, like a townhome type of an effect, but I still believe that a single family tenant, since they probably want to own their own home, they treat it as if it's their own home. So you tend to get better tenants with single family than you do multifamily. Along with that and paying lower taxes, those are really the biggest benefits that I can see with purchasing a single family as an investment. But me personally, I'm going to choose multifamily over and over and over again. Like I said before, it's a lot easier to find single family homes, but that's because of the things that I just laid out for you guys. That is the reason why it's so much easier to find. In duplexes, you will find you'll be scratching your head and be like, man, where are these duplexes? It takes time. You guys do have to lift up some rocks to find it. So once again, I hope you got value out of this content, and I'm gonna need you to watch this next video here. It will help you get into your first rental property and also get you into real estate. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Thanks.